Ah, a more modern game now. The Smiths Are Dead from 2023 is a text adventure game in which you're able to put yourself in the perspective of Morrissey as he prepares to record his first solo album. The cast features a list of characters well known to anyone familiar with the British music scene of the time, of who we will look at a little later in the video. A play on the title for the Smiths' best-selling record The Queen is Dead, from developers Bieno, Chima Nguita, Dom, Elwizo, Cormick, Norsec Sound, Stephen Wright and Team Cali. It is believed that the intention for the game's release was to tie in with the 35th anniversary of Suedehead, available either on download or on a very nice purple cartridge, the links for which will be included in the description of this video. Blimey, what next? How about a Sega Mega Drive platform game based around the cancelled Classically Smiths tour of 2018? I must also add, before I continue, that much to the dismay or delight of many, I have always been a fan of the Smiths, and admittedly have been to see Morrissey quite a few times in concert, so you could imagine my delight when I saw that this game had been released. But who are the Smiths? Well, the Smiths were an English rock band formed in Manchester in 1982 and composed of singer Morrissey, guitarist Johnny Marr, bassist Andy Rourke and drummer Mike Joyce. The band are pretty much still regarded as one of the most important acts to emerge from 1980s British independent music scene. Following the group's split, Morrissey began work on a solo recording, collaborating with producer Stephen Street and fellow Mancunian Vinnie Riley. Suedehead being the debut solo single from album Viva Hate, on which Vinnie Riley has contested many times and states that it was himself that wrote the music for the album, but was never credited.
Just a bit disappointed that neither Stephen Street nor Morrissey or Morrissey's manager or the record company have seen fit to give me any credit.
So what is this little text adventure game all about? Well, presumably the first challenge is to find some clothes so he can go out tonight. No, that's just silly. The synopsis transpires that your sheet music to the song Suedehead has been lost, and Morrissey must try to track it down. To do this, you will have to follow clues offered by the following people. Gail Coulson, your manager, and the person who should help us redirect our career after the breakup of the group. Jeff Travis is the owner of the Rough Trade record label, which published the music of the Smiths. Stephen Street, the producer, and the very prolific and valued musician in the English indie scene. Vinnie Riley, the ideologue of Durruti Column, and a genius with the guitar. With the Smiths, the bar has been set high, and now, having to focus on my solo career, I will have to work hard to live up to it, and not disappoint anyone. Read the description for The Smiths Are Dead. Initially, what I was pretty pleased about was the Oscillate Wildly music playing in the background. A pretty decent version it is too. Unfortunately, this is the only track that plays whilst you play the game, but it still brought a smile when I heard it. But what about the game? What the feck do I do here? If you've been paying attention, you'll have noticed that I've tried everything logical and have probably spent Morrissey's entire musical career budget on airline tickets, as I find myself frantically flying between Manchester, Birmingham, Bristol and London. I'm sure you could quite happily drive from Manchester to Birmingham in 2 hours. I mean, I'm not sure if you've ever experienced the airport at Manchester, but that's a 6-hour journey in queuing alone. So yeah, having to go to an airport to visit destinations was adventurous in thought, but not practical in application. The locations are, however, quite nostalgic and apt for the band. For example, you could visit the Salford Lads Club, a place which I actually visited myself in the real world. Yep, that's the band there on the left, and that's me there on the right. You can visit the once prestigious Woodhall Studio, a chapel-esque building which dates back to 1580, when it served as a space to show and sell wool in the village of Beckington, just outside Frome, Somerset. It was also the location where the Smiths recorded their final album, Strange Ways, Here We Come, in 1987, although I haven't got the foggiest idea what to do here. In fact, having the foggiest idea what to do was a quandary I found myself with on more than one occasion. Okay, I'm in my house, in London, sat on a sofa. Ah, it says there are cats in the room. Maybe I'll try and examine the cats. Voila! Now we're getting somewhere. What about this trunk here? Jesus, was this here the whole time and I've only just found it? Do you realise how long this first 2 stages has taken me? Literally around 45 minutes, looking around the whole of the UK for a bloody telephone. Be great if mobiles were invented, as I want the one I can't have, and it's driving me mad. It's written all over my face. Now I call this Gail Coulson woman and start getting into the game at last. Zork and other Infocom games ensured that adventuring felt very immersive, bringing you into the world with a varied vocabulary and choice of parser. Give lamp to dwarf, throw rock at glass, etc. However, the Smiths are dead. You are limited to actions such as get, drop, go, fly, visit, use, talk, examine, give, dig, raise, lower, push, pull, cut, followed by the desired object or location. A string of commands for proceeding to one part of the game consisted of me typing go airport, go Bristol, go recording studio, go pub, give vinyl, drink beer. And there was a strange shift in reality where I'd forgotten I was playing a Smiths game and thought I was planning my diary for a future night out with my mates on a stag party. To become more familiar with the game world, then you're better off making yourself a map as you travel around. However, the guys at Commodore Plus have kindly added their own map, which can be found on the link in the description of the video. This will give you some idea and indication of how all of the locations are linked. It's a nice touch that they're all accurate representations of the various locations significant to the original band. The graphics themselves are nicely drawn and give you an idea of your surroundings without overcomplicating anything unnecessarily. Also many illustrations, with places of interest highlighted in purple. This was particularly helpful to know how to move to other locations without having to backtrack or constantly ask for lists of exits. But before long, you'll come to learn that this is a nicely compact game and won't need to stress yourself out on remembering multiple locations. I'd love to reveal the whole game in the review and call this a walkthrough, but I feel as though all Smiths fans owe it to themselves to download the game completely free of charge and give it a playthrough. Test your knowledge of the band and see if you can get through to the end of the game. As with Oscillate Wildly playing in the background, it's a charming little game, and I think the cartridge itself would be a fantastic addition to any Commodore 64 or indeed Smiths fans collection. A Venn diagram of the Smiths, C64 nostalgia, the 1980s, and adolescent angst would look like one big filled-in circle after all. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and please owe it to yourself to download this game if you're a fan of the Smiths, and spread the love. Let me know what you thought of the game in the comments, and please do consider subscribing to the channel if you're liking the Commodore 64 games. There's loads up there on the channel playlist, and more coming up now. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye for now.